Welcome back. Welcome back to Gina Loves Life. As we travel to Zanzibar, here we are at the One Resort, which is located in Makunduchi of the island. And this is our suite that our accommodations. You can see my cousin she has one room and I have another room. And I hope you enjoy this video, part 3. Welcome back. The One Resort in Makunduchi was absolutely gorgeous. Now, the tide on this waterfront was low in the morning, but it would come up in the afternoon. The massages were amazing. Now, the food was delicious. The food was actually, the breakfast and the dinner was included with the accommodations. If you wanted to pay extra for lunch, you paid $20 for the buffet. And then they also had a la carte you could purchase separately.
This evening, Messiah are going to perform.
And every evening during dinner, at like 8 o'clock, they would have some type of performance, cultural performance, or we would have a bonfire and have entertainers, singers, drummers, just to name a few. And the light shining over the Indian Ocean just topped everything off. And as you could see, we spent a lot of time trying to rest and just R&R as much as possible. We did participate in a water aerobics class, and it was great. I also went on a excursion to one of the largest African villages there on the island called Makunduchi by bike. I don't know what I was thinking. It was so hot. I didn't think I was going to make it. I mean, even if it meant falling out, and I almost did. But Makunduchi was very interesting. It reminded me of my hometown here, my grandfather's hometown here in Missouri called Kinloch, Missouri. It was just very, very interesting because they had their own post office, hospital, police department, fire department. I mean, everything pretty much. So a lot of the Zambarian people are on the One little tidbit I wanted to mention was that they would clean our rooms twice. They would come in the morning and then would come back at night and pull our bed covers and sheets back. This resort and actually all of our accommodations, they have all been wonderful. So now let's head to our very last accommodation. We're going to go to Stone Town. So for Stone Town, we had to drive more north and northwest of the island. Now, Stone Town has a really different vibe. It makes you feel like you walk back in time. Zanzibar, which is the capital of Tanzania, was the largest slave trade hub for the East African and the Indian Ocean, especially during the 19th century. The way that our tour guide Izzy explained it, he said that many of the Africans were kidnapped or tricked into slavery. Many of them were enslaved and didn't even realize it until they were actually enslaved. And since they were told that they have a job and they're just going to be working a job, going to a job to work, and before you know it, they were enslaved. Another thing about Zanzibar, it's a very multicultural island of Indian influence, Arabic influence, and African influence. So you can see that in their food, you can see it in their architecture, you can see it in their religion. You have Christians, you have Muslims. Most of it is the majority, I think it's 85% Muslim and maybe 15% Christian on the island. But all of the religions are very accepting. They're very, Christianity, even though there are not as many Christians, it's still Christians are still embraced and accepted. You can see we stayed at the Mizingani hotel, but then I transferred to the Shaba Boutique because I had already purchased those accommodations, and I didn't want to waste the money, and so I just wanted to make good use of it. But the Mizingani was a beautiful hotel, and their breakfast was phenomenal. So I did get a chance to eat breakfast there at least one day. I don't know why, but it just gave me a deja vu, nostalgic feeling. Stone Town was just a different place, like I had been there before. I can't explain it. So Izzy did a tour with us the next day. We went to the fish market. He took us to the spice market. And it was just really interesting. Every type of fish you can think of, every type of spice you could think of, they had it. Now, during the tour that Izzy took us on, he really spent some time talking about the history of those doors. There's several doors are on the island, and particularly in Stone Town. And they just depict the different cultures, the Indian and the Arabic and the African fusion of cultures within those doors. Like, for instance, they have chains around some of the doors representing the history of slavery, as an example. Badai. See you later. Bye. See you later. Also took us to a coffee shop, and we had to climb stairs, but it was worth it. Every building was a vibe. Every building was a vibe. Izzy was so good. He actually ended up taking us on 3 different tours while we were on the island, and he was just talking about he's very passionate about being a tourist guide, and he's traveled to other countries. He's actually from Tanzania, and it's just really important to him that he properly informs people about the history and culture of Zanzibar and Tanzania. A part of our tour, Izzy took us on to see the slave auction and just gave us a lot of information. There was a museum, and there's a church and the actual dungeon. I can just say this, it was very emotional. I would encourage everyone to go to a slave museum and at some point in their life somewhere in Africa, because there are several of them, and this was just one of many.
In the evening, this place is more alive. That attracts everybody.
One of our last tours is to a local spice farm just right outside of Stone Town, and it was wonderful. Never felt so close to the earth. Zanzibar is known as the Spice Island. So you can actually smell the spices if you're taking a boat over to the island. And so it's so important to visit. It's really known for their cloves. And here is the coconut tree climber who serenaded us with this beautiful voice. So I wanted to show you some of my accommodations. I stayed at the Shaba Boutique, which is actually located more inside of the streets of Stone Town. And if you know, then you know. It's very challenging to get around because it's kind of like you're kind of in a Rubik's Cube. That's the best way I can describe it. So a lot of times to get in between our hotels, I actually had to use a guide and just tip them. I'm just giving you a tour of my hotel, the Shaba Boutique room that I stayed in. It was so beautiful, so clean, so quaint. It was so inexpensive. It's one of those accommodations that if I came to Zanzibar again and stayed for a long period of time, at least a month or two, I would definitely stay there. Again, breakfast is included with this accommodation. As I know, I haven't talked to you hardly this whole trip directly, but it's Wednesday. Tomorrow is our last full day. We leave on Friday. Tomorrow I'm going to be going snorkeling in Kawale Island, I believe. It's just going to be an all-day thing. So, we'll get some, slides in. But, for the most part, it's going to be touch and go. Heard it's really, really nice. So, I don't have a GoPro, so I can't really show you a whole lot. But, you get to see the island in general, some of the activities that they'll offer. The company, I heard, is very, very professional. The very first Safari Blue company to, coin that name. And so they are really professional, I hear. And also, and so on tonight, we're going to the Secret Garden for dinner. We have reservations. And so I can show you some of those clips also. They serve a lot of food here. So much food. Beautiful food. It's so good. Cuisine is wonderful. And then, like I said, that's going to be tomorrow. I'll be snorkeling tomorrow. And then, we get out of here on Friday afternoon, early morning or early afternoon. And then we're going to have a layover in Ethiopia. So we have 8-hour layover. So I'll clue you in on that. So we picked to just go to the market, the Ethiopian market. And we also have a hotel because it's over 8-hour layover. So we get, we're going to take advantage of that. So I'll keep you posted. All right, you guys. It's been great. I'm so tired. Our days, we had the Spice Farm. You guys see the slides from that, this morning. And it was wonderful. I'm exhausted. We've been walking around pretty much all afternoon after the Spice Farm. So it's been pretty busy, and it's almost 6 o'clock. So I'm just going to kind of take a shower, lay down for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to be meeting my cousin at the Secret Garden for dinner. All right, see you shortly. Bye. We're at the the secret garden. It is gorgeous, beautiful plants everywhere. And they're going to have some live music. Awesome. The secret garden was wonderful. The food's delicious. The musicians, the band, they even had dancers doing belly dancing. It was wonderful. Everything was great. We ended up taking a tuk-tuk back to our hotels. So the next day I went on a blue safari. This was actually, it was wonderful. It was beautiful, but it was raining, so that made it a little strange. So that, there was a downcast, but we still, I was still able to get out and snorkel and just swim and enjoy the beautiful water. We went to two different reefs, and we went to the Koala Island, and then we went to another island. I don't remember the name of it, but we had a cookout, and we actually had some special coffee. I wasn't able to get the recording of that, but it was cool. The coffee was great. Everything was wonderful. And it was all day, you guys. Absolutely all day. I didn't get back. I left in the morning and didn't get back until later on that afternoon. And so I was not able to participate in the layover in Ethiopia because I got sick, you guys. But I was able to find some of my footage from our sunset cruise we had in Nunwi Beach. So enjoy some of my footage for a moment. Nunwi Beach is like the most northern part of the Zanzibar island. So the sunsets are miraculous. They are so gorgeous. So if you ever get a chance to go to Zanzibar, please make sure that you make it up to Nunwi Beach, and make sure that you go on a sunset cruise. The sunsets are to live for in that area of the island.